Welcome to Rich in Blockchain. Okay guys, today's the 19th of September 2022. I hope you guys had a good weekend, and we are just having a look at BTC and the rest of the altcoins at the moment. So, I mean, it's been a pretty exciting weekend for those that have been following my TA as well. I guess I just keep myself accountable with this. So having a look at the hourly, we can see that we are retesting the September lows again on the 7th of September. We're currently ranging there, but in my opinion, I reckon the bigger time frame where we will still be touching, as I said from a while ago, would be this low here, which is about that 17,400, 500 mark. Reason being that is if we look on the smaller time frame, looking at BTC still, when we drew this flag here, this bear flag here, I think I drew in the past, just let me turn it on if it's on. Yes, so let me just get rid of that. So drawing that bear flag there, okay, taking the profit zone from shorting the pole of the flag to that bottom of the pole, we can clearly see that it's going to be hitting that $17,000 mark. I reckon that before we see any short-term bounce, this range would be where the price would be. Is it too late to get into a short? Possibly. Probably wouldn't really trade, because this will also act as a strong area of support, or kind of weak because it hasn't really had much trading range. But it could easily also swing up as well. So yeah, that's just that for BTC at the moment. Everyone's just waiting to see what's going to continue to happen. But in my opinion, I reckon it's going to go lower before possibly bouncing. And if we do have a bounce, it'll most likely be related to the FOMC meeting that is to happen on Wednesday. So depending on that, we may continue further down, which I hope we don't. Or I hope we have a bit of a bounce. But in my opinion, from that bounce, it will continue on up to a certain resistance point before we move on down. So looking at the daily time frame, we can see that on the RSI we're flipping bearish still, and of course with the MACD and histogram as well, it's a big red wick candle there. If we were to come back and retest, so what we may possibly see happen on this smaller time frame, on the daily time frame, is if I just grab this polyline. So we have broken out of this bear flag. Okay, we may hit this point here, come back up to retest this 19,000 range. And yes, we may pop up and break through it. All right, so if we do break through it, that's still a heavy resistance zone. And if we do break through that as well, that $21,000 range will also act as a strong resistance zone before we get rejected. These are just the possible plays at the moment. Okay, and then if we do come back down to retest this here, as I said in the past, that this is looking like a descending triangle, and the target zone for that would unfortunately be at the $8,000, $9,000 range. There's also, just so you know as well, there's also a CME cap back from, I think it was 2018, within this range as well. So something to keep an eye on. I'm not saying that you trade based on CME, but that's most likely what's going to be happening. Having a look at ETH, it has just been a rip on the way down. I've been just shorting this one from seeing its bear flag, but also got stopped out as well, trying to long it, because it did go way beyond my target. So I guess advice is just don't over trade. So it's just been forming bear flag after bear flag. So a bit of a pattern we can see here now at the moment as well, is that downwards trend line. So I'll turn that into red, so it's a bit more clearer. So that's now heavy resistance, and going by what we can see here, the target zone for it is still about the $1,100 mark. We may see short-term bounce, but in my opinion, I don't think we will. Just be careful trading this one if you're trying to buy it here too long, because it's like catching a falling knife. It's really uncertain at the moment. I mean, looking at the RSI on the hourly, we can see that it's very, very oversold, forming a bit of a bullish divergence maybe. Yeah, so price has gone down. So what we can see here currently. So just let me just grab this line. Bit of a bullish divergence happening here. So as I said, if it does play out, and if it does come back down a bit lower, so what I mean by that is if this RSI comes back down and retests this point here, which means that the price would be going lower as well, and we bounce from there, that's very bullish for ETH to bounce from, in my opinion. So seeing what's happening there, I wouldn't really try to long ETH anytime soon. It's just looking still bearish at the moment for another possible leg down. Having a look at ADA, it's kind of holding at the moment, but yeah, nothing else really happening there on the bigger time frame. Look at the smaller time frame. Currently testing its previous support zone here. So something to take note of. Its next level of support would be at that 4 cent range, which is also another approximate 10% drop if it does hit that zone there. Having a look at XRP had a bit of a run up before it gave up all its gains again. So looking at the daily, we can see that it broke above the 50 moving average, but then it shot back down. And as we can see here as well, drawing this massive downtrend line, it has gotten rejected currently at the moment. So you can possibly see it retest this key support area here, which is about the 25 cent range. Just something to keep in mind for XRP. Having a look at Solana, daily doesn't look that great as well because the histogram's starting to show reversal. It's given up all its gains from 13th of September, got rejected at the 50 moving average, even though we're trading sideways. So we can possibly have another leg down. If that leg down does happen, be expecting to buy Solana at $14. Having a look at Matic, as I said, we have broken down out of this trend line. Yeah, nothing much here. The next level of support for Matic would be at the 68 cent range. One thing that I forgot to also take note of as well is BNB. So having a look at Binance, BNB, that's a small time frame. Possibilities of it still doing a corrective wave of an ABC. So target zone is still about that 242 for BNB, which is also a 6.618 retrace for BNB. Having a look at Chainlink, nothing much really happening there at the moment. You can see from the charts, just trading sideways. And as I said, if it does break and BTC does decide to wick down, you can expect a $5 Chainlink. Having a look at Near Protocol, it's below $4 now. So this is starting to play out that we had drawn a few days ago. If it does break down and we do get a bounce from there, expect it to kind of hold. If that bounce does hold, expect it to kind of retrace and then play out. So it's a good time to kind of go for a long if you decide to long near from this point here. Having a look at VeChain, still playing out as what we expected at the moment. So this will be a next level of key support here, which is about the 1.9 cent range. Having a look at HAPI on the hourly, the smaller time frame. So still a decision time for it. Hasn't really done too much yet. Yeah, not many people selling this one. So what can possibly happen is we get a bit of a short-term bounce, or as I said from the past, can come back down to retest the $7 range. Or if we try to break up again, we're going to have a heavy resistance at the $8 range. It'll be interesting to see what happens. Yeah, it's just unfortunately just a really low volume at the moment for HAPI. And look at the BTC Dominance, still above 40%, which is generally still bullish for BTC. If it bounces and continues on up, it will suck up a lot of the capital from the rest of the alts. And lastly, looking at DXY, so on the daily we can see it's reversing and just going on up. But if we look at the smaller time frames, as I said prior, it's still within this bull flag. And if this bull flag does break upwards, the next level would be about that 112 for the DXY, which means that the rest of the market as a whole will start dropping because the US dollar index will be absorbing a lot of it because no one's really trusting their currencies. And if that does happen, possibility of it also getting rejected here, coming back down this rising channel or ascending channel here. But if it doesn't break and we still bounce in between the rising wedge. So if this happens, so we go here, 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 touch that, get rejected, come back to touch that point here, and then break down, that means it'll be a bullish price action for cryptos and the rest of the market. But yeah, that's all I have time for today, guys. Let me know what you guys would like me to have a look at, and I hope you guys enjoy your day. See you tomorrow. Bye. Anyway, my name is Rich, and you've been watching Rich in Blockchain. I'll catch you again soon for the next episode. Please remember to like and subscribe. Cheers, and have a good one.